until I hit my last breath. Music's everlasting even if past death. Not overacting, music's never past tense. Colliding with the greats, welcome to this crash test.
All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the BringTheBars podcast. I'm welcomed by TikiMane for his second appearance here. How have you been,
What's
man?
up? Man, I've been fantastic, man. Doing good. How you been?
I've been awesome, man, and it's nice to hear you're doing well. And I want to, before we start off, happy belated birthday. How was your birthday yesterday?
Hey, my birthday was good. It was really good. I mean, I had to go to work, but after work, I had some family and friends come over. It just made it a fantastic day. So it was a good day.
Yeah, that's always the best, get together with family and friends. And, you know, every time we usually hit the new year or we hit a birthday, we kind of set goals for ourselves for what's to come for the next year. So I'm curious, like, what's your goal for till you hit your next birthday? What kind of goals do you have in mind?
Well, my first goal was to, I wanted to have at least, when my next birthday comes back around, I want to have 4 more albums solo by myself, because I'm also working with other artists, but 4 more solo albums before my next birthday. So just more music basically is that's my first one. You know what I mean? And then I just, just goals to be a better dad and things like that, just family goals, things like that.
Yeah, and one question that actually was asked in the BTB group was from Scotty G, actually. He posted this about a month ago or something, but I love this question. And his question was, what do you consider success for yourself, either in music or life? If you hit it, like, what would you consider success to you?
What I would consider success to me would be waking up, doing what I want to do, waking up, being able to, knowing that I'm making money off my music. So that's what I'm doing full time. It's just music. That's it, because, the success that'll come in, with the work, with the music. But to know that I've worked this hard to make money and be able to provide for my family off of what I love to do, that to me is me making it, me success. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like the saying, you never work a day in your life if you're doing what you love, right? So that's
Right.
definitely a goal, I think, for all of us. Last time we had you on too, we talked a little bit about your beginnings of recording, and you mentioned before you're even 16, you'd record on like a tape recorder, raw vocals, put it on through that. And now all these years have passed, your birthday's just passed. Since that first recording you made, what do you think you improved on the most as an artist? And what is one thing that you kept doing since you started them that you brought with you through all this time?
That I kept doing is I just never gave up. I mean, I know there's times in life that I've, missed music or I stopped doing music for it, but it's always been in my mind, and I just never gave up, just because I love it so much. I really, truly enjoy music and love music. I've always been around it, and it's just a great thing. So since that first recording, it's just giving up, and that's it, man, for real.
And what do you think you've improved on the most since that very first recording? Either be it in the studio, mixing, what have you learned through all these years?
I've definitely improved on deliverance, the way I spit bars, the way I write them. Of course, you know what I'm saying? As you write more, you improve more. So I've definitely improved that. Some producer skills. I'm not the best, but hey, so I've been doing that, and that's just learning my way around the studio.
It's crazy how you can learn something new every day in this game, from either the mixing or the writing. There's always something you pick up every day, and it's a constant growth. And you were saying also in the last interview as well was your mom being an English teacher. I remember you mentioning that in the last interview. What have you learned from your mom being an English teacher? Because we didn't touch on it too much on the last interview, but what have you learned from her and taken it into how you write now?
Let's see, what I've learned from her, besides the hard work ethic, is just Yeah, I run my words by her. You know, things
Mm,
like different words and lines and stuff. Because she, you know, I'm an English teacher. She knows, and if it sounds correct or if it doesn't, you know, I just learned just my wording together, basically, from my mother. You know,
yeah, and
because I'll
another
be,
thing
hey,
you,
hey, does this sound right? Because I don't want to sound dumb. You know what I mean?
yeah, put it together right. And then you even talked about earlier how you don't really like to cuss in your music. Sure, there's a couple here and there and a couple tracks, but overall, you don't like to cuss in your music too much. And I'm sure she's a big influence on that by finding the right vocabulary to fit in instead of a cuss word, which a lot of the time is a filler word.
Right? Exactly. More descriptive word to put in there.
Yeah. And you were talking about how your writing has improved over the years, your writing process, how you put it together. What is your writing process like? Do you hear a beat first and go off that, or does a topic or a lyric pop in your head first and you go off that? Like, what's your whole writing process like creating a new track?
Sometimes it's different, you know, because yeah, as I'm at work or something like that, somebody will say something, then it'll spark an idea in my mind, and then I'll write off the idea, and then I'll try to create the beat in my head off of that idea.
Okay.
So recently I've been getting beats, so I've just been using the beats to tell me what I'm gonna say, how I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? So just the beats, and then I start the hook, and then the verses.
So, like a beat, you'll hear a certain instrumental and it'll strike you in a certain mood, or do you go in kind of picking a beat, knowing kind of like what topic you want to write about? Or do you just hear the beat and feed off that instead?
I just hear the beat and feed off that. I
Yeah.
like the music to speak to me. You know what I'm saying? I like those instruments to speak to me. What are y'all trying to say? So I can say it. You know?
Yeah. And since last we talked, you have released your EP, Music Take My Pain Away.
Yes, sir.
Incredible EP, a very poetic, one of the most poetic EPs, even from you that
Thank
I've
you.
heard. You even have a poem to end that off. But this whole concept of Music Take My Pain Away, how did this begin? And was it always the concept to do it in that kind of poetic manner?
Um, no, it wasn't always the concept to do it in that poetic manner. It just actually just came out like that. But the way music take my pain away is these the start of 2021. You know, just been rough, and then my father in and out of the hospital. You know, dealing with that. Um, it was all I had was music. You know, I mean, I had my family and stuff, you know, I can lean on and stuff. But if when I'm by myself and I'm really, you know, because when you get in your by yourself, you tend to get in your feelings and you start thinking more and things like that. And so I tend to just use just soaking in the music and just let the music take my pain. If I put on angry music, now I listen more than just hip hop, you know, rock and roll, blues, jazz, things like that. I let those, you know, sometimes just take my pain away. So, you know, I'm not always writing about mine, but I'll let that take my pain away. That's where that all came from. It's just a bunch of things through friendships, a father, life. I just needed a release, and I just wanted the world to release. Hey, I use music to take my pain.
Yeah, and that ending poem, Music Take My Pain Away, is what it's titled, the poem, was a perfect way to end that. And I like how you ended it with music took my pain away. Like right at the end, like it did take your pain away. And
Yes,
what way
sir.
did it take it away from? Was it just more the therapeutic aspect or kind of just losing yourself in it? And which way did it take the pain away?
It took the pain in a therapeutic, definitely a therapeutic way. Um, just being able to use that music and either calm myself or just be able to express myself through my music better. With just you know, just a clear mind. The music just it's always been therapeutic. It's always been
Hmm.
something that's medicinal for me. Um, so that's all I got right now, man. But I feel like if I didn't say if I didn't let it be therapeutic, because some people just use it and go thrash around, or just, just use it to hear it and that's it. But to hold it in, think about what the message, because there's a message in all music, and just to hear the message and maybe hear what they're saying and use it and use the message in my life, I guess, and just help it go through my music and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you have a lot of pretty emotional songs and pretty serious songs about your life. One, you don't have to talk about who this was about or anything like that, but Broken Ties off Music Take My Pain Away. That, like, you put yourself out there, who you were mad at. Like I said, you don't have to say why you were kind of mad at it. Like, did you find once releasing that it was kind of like a weight off your shoulders? Or was it hard to release that?
It was hard because the people close to me, they probably know who it is. So I didn't, but at the same time, it was good to release it. It was fantastic to release it because it released it out there, my feelings, and then it released it off my shoulders, my conscience. Bye, see you later, don't ever come back, I'm through with you, this is it, this is the end and final chapter, done deal, close the book. That's how I did, you know what I mean?
Flip Definitely. The next page, man. Yeah.
Time for a new chapter, man. Don't need to do that again, don't need to revisit that at all.
Exactly, man. Like, it's good to know, because that's same with me as well. Sometimes I have a harder time putting it out there, and then you realize, like, once you do, almost even question yourself, should I put this out there? And then once you do, you realize, like, well, that's a huge weight off my shoulders. And you said it perfectly. Flip the page. Next chapter, that's done.
Right, because that had been weighing on me for years. And I was just, it was time to be done.
Yeah.
Some things just need to be over, said and done, and gone.
And it was perfect fitting for that EP to fit the whole title of the thing is Take This Pain and Get It Off My Chest. And there we go. That's it. And you were saying earlier about how it's very therapeutic for you, music in general, which is kind of like lost today in a lot of mainstream music. So I think a lot of people just go for the fame, and a lot of them don't even like follow the people who led the way for us, like the old 90s and 80s even.
Oh yeah,
and
true that.
So yeah, so it's a little weird with mainstream. It's about building this character, not even being yourself anymore. But with mainstream music today, what's one thing that you think they're kind of doing right, and another thing that you might think that they really need to improve on with mainstream music today?
What I've always thought in mainstream music, they just need to improve the message. The message it is not a very good message. I got kids, you know what I'm saying? And it seems bad from me being a parent perspective. You just like, man, all you hear on the radio, all the music videos, the visuals, all that, that's just improve on that. Just the message, because everything is either sexualized or it's just blown out of the way proportion, violence.
Yeah.
But that, let's see. So things that I think they're doing right, letting, I don't know, being versatile, being good with it, just letting everybody have their little moment of fame, I guess. So to speak, letting everybody be heard. I'm not really sure. I was thrown off real quick.
That's all right, man.
No, so
it's a tough one because not a lot good in mainstream music today, I find. So.
I know, I'm sitting here thinking like, so everybody watching, I'm trying to think, the whole thing, but
the only thing I can say good about it is that some people are breaking through, like the J. Coles and the Joyner Lucas, even, that they're kind of breaking through with the message that for the last, 10, 15 years, like you said, it's just been so over sexualized, over violenced, and people can even argue that point, especially with the violence, like old NWA and stuff like that. back then. Yeah, they showed the violence aspect of it, but they showed their life. It still had a message to it. Because me being this kid in Canada, I didn't know about this lifestyle of, you know, Compton and all these ghetto areas. I didn't know about that, and they taught me that. And the lyrics could have been violent, but it still taught me something, which today they're almost being violent for just the aspect of being violent with no real message behind it.
Right? I'm gonna come get you, bang bang, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really feel that, but because, you know, NWA, they, you know, they had a message, you know, I'm being oppressed, you know, that's just how I feel. So that had that message in it, you know.
Yeah, and they just talked about their life. That seems to be so lost. They're trying to play a character now. They're not being themselves. In total contrast to your music, you're yourself the whole way through. If either it be on Broken Ties or the poem of Music Take My Pain Away or Let Loose, like all your tracks have you in it. So yeah, it makes a big difference when you can hear and feel the person's story, which you're great at, by the way.
Thank you.
And so what's coming up next? I know we talked a little earlier, you had plans for like a single a week kind of thing. Is this leading up to an album? Or are you just going to drop singles for a bit? Like, what can we expect in the rest of 2021 from TikiMane?
Well, for right now, I'm just trying to drop at least as much as I can through my budget and things. I'm trying to at least drop a track a week or every other week. You know what I'm saying? Like the track you and I got coming. You know, and Chrono, shout out Chrono. But oh no, hold on one second.
No problem.
I dropped my computer. Anyway. Just a single every other week. I'm also working on an 8-track album with lyrics. I know I said that last, but he caught the COVID. Other people that we've been working with caught the COVID and have medical issues. So that's just been a work in progress. But I'm also working with other artists. So just more singles, and then hopefully that EP with that little mixtape with lyrics comes out this year. And then I'm just working, just music, man, just music.
Yeah, you go strong at it, man. You don't take a break on it. You're always coming out with something new. So yeah, I can definitely respect that. I'm excited to hear what you come out with. And lyrics, I can't remember the name of the song, but I've heard them on a few of your tracks before, so I'm definitely excited for that. And you're talking about the whole COVID situation kind of screwing everything up. It did for a lot of people. But looking at what you're doing now, I've seen you in quite a few shows. You've been doing your own performances, and this is actually a new segment of the show I kind of brought in just recently, and it's called The Queen's Question. So basically, my wife, she follows everything to do with the BringTheBars group. Even this morning, I told her I was interviewing you. She started singing Soul Vacation. So she's a big fan, and I always give her that one question, and she saw all these shows you were doing. What's one show that stands out to you the most that you performed at, and why did it stand out to you that much?
One show that stood out to me. Man, I've done a lot of shows.
Even your first one, or maybe somebody you opened for, something that just like really stuck out to you. Yeah.
I'll tell you, the one time I had a huge crowd there to support me, to be there to support me. I had a huge crowd. I was at Liquid Joe's. I was doing a show there. It was no opener. It was just, doing it. It was D'Angelo was throwing it on as a turn up on 33rd type of deal. Locals are coming in, and we were outside, and I was just doing. I invited a ton of people. Usually not a lot of people come because the show was on Thursday. People got work the next day. Understood. So, yeah. But this Thursday, a ton of people came. I was selling merch. I had all my merch gone. It was sold out, and people were wearing my merch. The crowd was huge, and as some people were saying, I'm doing my thing. People singing my songs, and then that's the first time I was like, I'm gonna do that. I've never done that. Hey, I say Tiki, y'all say Mane. You know what I'm saying? I've never done that, and you just hear the Tiki, Mane, Tiki. It was TikiMane, yo, and everybody's cheering. I felt like a superstar. I felt like a superstar right after that show. I got off the show, people giving me down, hugging me. I'm sweating. Everybody else sweating too because they've been jumping around. It was probably one of the best shows I've had. You know, and I love doing shows, as you can tell. I'm always
You're all over the place, man.
That show right there was one of a kind, man. It stuck out more than anything, man. Just because I had my mom and dad were there, my son was there, my wife, I had friends I worked with, man. It was just one of a freaking kind, man. Fans, it was great.
Yeah, that sounds like it would be a blast, man. I wish I can go see one of yours one of these days, man. I'm doing a whole tour of the States, I swear. So, but we're still in restrictions here.
I hope you do.
Oh, I will, man. It's definitely a goal of mine. We were talking about goals earlier, and this is one of mine. Is just to get out there, meet you guys, and just hang out and watch you guys perform. Because I see it just on the videos, and you got a good stage presence too, as well on there. To go back to your very first show, whether it be a talent show or something like that, how were you feeling at that time? Were you nervous, or was this something like you were kind of felt like you were born to do, and you just went out there and rocked the stage?
Well. Every show, I mean, I feel like I was born to be on that stage anyway. That microphone should have just been in my hand at the age of 1. You know what I mean? But I always get nervous. You know.
That's part of the fun of it.
I'm constantly practicing, because I don't like the words behind me while I'm doing my thing. I don't like that. So I'm always making sure all my words are on point, and then. You know, just seeing the crowd and people standing there, I get a little nervous, but once that music hits and I get that first song done and over with, man, I feel so comfy. It's insane. It's
I've seen you do it, man. You look so comfortable on stage. You even had your opening for a couple big name artists as well coming. I think you're opening up for Stevie Stone. Did I see that right?
Stevie Stone, that's right. This Friday, Stevie Stone, Liquid Joe's, baby. Come on,
how are you feeling about that? Because I know you're probably a big Stevie Stone fan. So just knowing you're opening for these guys you kind of look up to and listen to their music, how does that feel for you?
Man, it feels phenomenal. I really didn't think I'd be at that place. You know what I'm saying? Twisted and Saints hitting less than 100 feet from me, man. I feel like a kid, you know what I'm saying? And then I'll be able to meet Stevie Stone, man. It's gonna be great. I just keep on moving, man. It's a great feeling to know that what I'm doing, you know, hard work is paying off little by little. You know what I'm saying? Get to open up for these names and stuff like that. It's great. It's a really good feeling.
Yeah, that's a good way to determine success. A lot of people, you know, they'll try to be like, okay, the end goal is I want to hit this big following, become Eminem or something like that, become this famous superstar. But even like the little steps you take, those are successes. And the fact that you're opening for Twisted Insane and Stevie Stone and you're doing all these shows, like you're building up and you're climbing that ladder and you're hitting these success in that matter. And it's awesome to see, man. I can't wait to see who you open for next. And see those shows on Facebook. I love watching them. You know, I watch a lot of you and Kronos, and I'd like to see you guys even rock a stage together one day.
I would love to go out to see Kronos live. Yo, Kronos, he looks like he's good on stage too.
Yeah, stage presence is definitely very important. You guys do great at it. So when you're opening up for Twisted Insane, or you're planning to open up for Stevie Stone, you said it was this Friday you're doing the Stevie Stone?
Yes, sir.
Oh man, that's awesome. How do you determine your track list? Like, do you switch it depending on the artist you're opening for? Because I know Twisted Insane is more of a faster, darker. Stevie Stone's more melodic. Are you kind of like basing your track list on who you're opening for, or do you got your just set ones that you know you're gonna do?
No, I definitely make my set list to what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Like I've got that song Victory. It's kind of like a faster song and things like that. Or more, you know, because he uses a lot of words. So I try to just, you know, put different songs in there to kind of match the audience that's going to be out there.
Yeah, because you think with Twisted Insane, like for a couple of your songs, I can think of like, you know, Let Loose, Can't Fight the Feeling. Those kind of songs would fit perfectly. And with Stevie Stone, a lot of, you know, Soul Vacation and stuff like that, I find would be fantastic for a Stevie Stone concert for sure.
Oh, yeah. I'm planning on doing it too.
Yeah, perfect. So who would you?
You know, I'm with the dude. When I did this Soul Vacation, I'm gonna hit his house today. Go record some new tracks again. So yeah.
So who would you like in the future, you're opening for all these guys. What's like a main goal of yours to who would you love to open for or rock a stage with that really influenced you? And then you would really feel like, damn, I made it. Like I'm doing a show with so-and-so.
There's a few people. There's a few people. Would, to be honest, would be Lupe Fiasco. Lupe Fiasco, because his music, you know, kind of, I love his music, his message, everything like that. Lupe Fiasco.
You're talking about opening for certain artists, and one was Lupe Fiasco, and I wanted to ask his influence with you on the skateboarding culture as well, if that was the main reason why you were also a big fan of his.
Yes, definitely. Besides his style of music and the way he delivers his music and his rhymes and stuff, definitely the skating or that kick push song, for real.
Yeah.
That was a big one. I was always playing that in my ears. I'm kicking, pushing around, getting kicked out of these places and stuff like that because I'm skating. Oh yeah, me and my brothers, definitely was a big hit on me.
So were you always a skater since you were a kid, and do you still do it now?
Yeah. Not as big though, because you know I'm getting older. My knees ain't what they used to be. As my lady says, I ain't no spring chicken. So, but I still do it. I still go around because I got my kids. They do we go on rides every night. You know what I'm saying? So they can get their little energy out before bed. And so they ride their scooters, and I'm on a longboard or a skateboard or something like that. So yeah, I'm still doing it.
So I was just saying with this, like, when did you start skateboarding? And I know it became this huge thing, and a lot of kids got skateboards for Christmas. So were you one of those kids who got the skateboard for Christmas and then just never stopped after that?
Yeah, I was about, I don't know, 8, 10, around that age, between 8 and 10. I got my first skateboard. I can't remember what age it was, but I got my first skateboard. Yes. After that, it never stopped. My first skateboard was one of those, the one with the handle on it, and you push and stuff like that, and you can put the handle down. Them old school ones back. That was my first one, and it was Ninja Turtles. Never forget it. Never forget it.
Nice. I've been loving the skateboarding culture. I did when I was younger. I haven't skateboarded in a long time, but I follow the culture. I'm a huge fan of it. And I remember even seeing documentaries and everything on it, especially with Rodney Mullen and them, like, and the Bones Brigade, I believe it was. And it just blew up one year. It seemed like everybody got skateboards for Christmas one year, and it just became this huge thing. And it's crazy how it had an impact on hip hop culture as well, with even Lupe and Hopson's another one I can think of with the skateboarding culture.
As I was coming up, when I started mixing my music with skateboarding was Chad Muska. He had the Muska beats, and he was doing all that stuff like that. That's another one. I was like, man, what? It's man doing that hip hop and skating thing and like that. That's another influence.
Yeah, and then the Tony Hawk games took it to a whole new level.
Yes, definitely.
The popularity exploded, and they were known for their soundtrack too, which featured hip hop. And I think that probably in my youth was a big impact as well with the Tony Hawk soundtracks.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And speaking about soundtracks, actually, just a question for you. Is there any like movie soundtrack or like a game soundtrack when you were younger that really hit you, that spoke to you?
Not necessarily like a soundtrack, because I always hear the radio and things like that. I never really had soundtracks or listen to one like that. Just singles like that. So not that I can think of.
Yeah.
Not really influenced me. No.
And talking about the radio, so I guess that's where you consumed probably a lot of your music growing up. But finding, the Biggies and the NWAs and Big Puns and stuff like that, how did you go about finding these artists? Because a lot of times, well, I know here they weren't really on the radio. So how did you find a way to consume that kind of hip hop?
That was through my friends. That's how I got through all that. Growing up, the mom wasn't big on all the cussing, you know what I'm saying? And all the words and the bad and things like that. That's why, because, I mentioned Lil Romeo and Bow, they didn't cuss. They didn't cuss, so I can play Will Smith. I can play him because he didn't cuss, you know, things like that, you know. And so through my friends, that's the only way. Like, I think the first album my mom ever got, like rap album wise, that had it was edited, but it was it was the Big Timers. It was my first like hit rap album that she ever got was the Big Timers Hood Ridge. But yeah, through my friends, through the neighborhood, and my friends listen to rap, listen to Eminem. That's where I first heard Eminem was through my best friend, him and everybody. Yeah. Outside people.
Yeah, mine definitely as well was through friends. Like you said, my dad didn't care so much about it. He just said, put your headphones on. I don't want to hear it. But the mom especially, you know, just that's a little too much cussing, especially if you're trying to play Eminem around the house.
Oh, yeah. They're like, no, that's devil music to them.
And you're talking even about Will Smith. I think a whole generation could sing the Fresh Prince song from start to finish. Just from exactly. That I think was just ingrained in our brains. And even when I was younger, that was probably one of the first, like I must have been 9 years old or something like that, hearing that. And that just like blew me away. Like I like this guy, and then came out with more, but it was it was the one that the parents would let their kids listen to for sure.
Oh yes, definitely. Was not a favorite.
All right, man. So you remember last time we did this interview and the segment I like to end it on. I don't remember what you did in the first one, but this is the Name Your Bar segment. I think last episode you were 3 for 5. I think you were on the last one. So we'll see if you can get a perfect 5 for 5 here. Everybody listening, Name Your Bars is a segment that I'll read a bar or two from one of TikiMane's tracks, and let's see if you can tell us which track these bars are from. So you ready to hear the first one?
Oh, yeah.
All right. First one here is, I be chilling, busy at work. Here comes Mother Nature to shake the earth. Just so you know, I've always disliked you. Take that for what it's worth.
I don't need that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So that's 1 for 1. The second one here is, making music and stacking dough. Ain't in it for macking hoes. Testing me better, practice mo. I'll point out what you're lacking, bro.
I'ma let loose.
Yeah. The latest single, everybody's got to check that track out because that track is absolutely incredible. One of my new favorites from you, man.
Thank you. Please do check that out.
Yes, Spotify everywhere. You guys get it everywhere, and I'm sure we'll run it on the radio for you guys too as well. Third one here, so you're 2 for 2 is,
No, don't freeze.
got me?
Oh yeah, I got you.
Okay, so third one here is, got me thinking too much. My blood's at a boil. What's mine was yours. I had you spoiled.
Broken ties.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
3 for 3. All right, we're going on to 4 here. Is, some are born great, others achieve greatness. A man first, I'm focused, running through the matrix.
Oh man, first I'm focused. Oh, say so.
Yes, it is.
Say so.
4 for 4. We got one more left. Can you go perfect 5 for 5? It's, gotta keep on buzzing. I won't fear all of your sticks and stones. I'm pushing bars hard. You ain't bumping me. You better fix your phone.
No excuses.
I love that line, man. And the some are born great, some achieve greatness. Both those like stood out to me the most, so I had to throw them on here. But perfect 5 for 5, man. Congrats on that. You know your stuff. All right, man. That was the show. I want to thank you very much for coming on. I know we had some technical difficulties. It was still a lot of fun talking to you. I appreciate you taking time, hopping out, and yeah, thank you very much.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. You always give this platform and stuff. So I really appreciate you taking your time and you doing what you do, man. And shout out, hey, that's a dope EP you got. Y'all need to go hear that EP he got with Otis Isaac, baby. The Faded, baby.
Thanks, man. That was a lot of fun to do.